back after it again. Got Ian over here rocking and rolling on the big Equinox, trying to do some brakes. And of course, you know, nowadays you have to have a scanner just to do brakes on a little Chevrolet Equinox. Ian's just, he's super pumped up about having to have electronic devices just to do a brake job on a vehicle. But got a little something here for you guys. Little 2000 model 1500 Chevrolet. Test drove this thing, brought in, thought it was a transmission problem, but they brought it in and I drove it. This thing's got really low power. Actually drives fine. Like if you drive it super easy, you take off up the road, don't really feel any problems. But as soon as you get into it, and I mean even just a little bit, try to pass somebody, really not just standing on it, but just driving down the road, this thing is going to it's going to act all kinds of weird. So first thing to do, check engine light came on actually while I was test driving it, so I don't think the guy that owns it, he's an older fella, I don't think he ever actually drove it hard enough to even get the light on, which I did. But we're gonna hook up some adapters. I'm gonna show you guys some homemade custom adapters that Dad had actually made, gosh, probably before I was born. But we're gonna check the exhaust back pressure on this one. It's just kind of a seat of the pants problem I feel like we've got going on with it. So we'll lift this thing up. Like I said, you guys just hang along for the ride. We'll get it up in the air. I'll show you how we're testing this and kind of what we're looking for while we're testing it. So y'all just hang out with us. All right. Run pops up in this thing. Pick this bad boy up. See if we can't get the exhaust back pressure tester set up on this thing. So y'all cruise along with us. We're gonna see if we can't verify and diagnose this bad boy. Y'all hang tight. Okay, we got this baby doll lifted up. I went ahead and broke this thing loose. So what, like I said before, what we're gonna do is check exhaust back pressure. So we're gonna check the exhaust flow is gonna come out of the engine into the exhaust pipe, and it's gonna come to the catalytic converter up under your truck. I went ahead and broke this loose just a minute ago. What we're gonna do here is take the, go ahead and take this oxygen sensor out. We have got an adapter, and I'll get a chance here in a minute to talk to Dad, but he actually built this adapter. So, like I said, I've got y'all out here where we've got a little bit better light right at the moment. I'm gonna get you to look at this with Dad. Hey, Pops. So this here, now that I've got a little better light, this is the piece that we're using to install in place of the oxygen sensor. It's
yes, older 18 millimeter size spark plug, non-fouler.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I just use the M-style air filter.
And that's just a regular coupler, air adapter quick coupler that you braze in there.
I made this tester probably in the mid to early 90s.
So I
should have patented it long before they actually had one. So.
Yeah, if anybody wants to contact us, we'll make all of them you want for a nominal amount of money. I'm sure somebody probably makes these at this point, but like I said, now that we've got a little better light, this is the adapter that we've built, and literally use it with an air coupler adapter for any of your air tools in the shop with a braided hose, and off that braided hose just straight to a gauge. Like I said, this is a 20-pound gauge that we use. You know, you can use multiple different ones. This one we can just get a really good idea of what's going on. Just wanted to throw that to y'all. Like I said, this is something that we use actually a lot. We use this particular tester a pretty good amount. So we're going to take this loose, put this adapter in place of it, and we're going to test the back pressure between the engine and this converter and see if we're getting exhaust flow backed up into the exhaust system. Because here we go, bear with me. Said we're trying to test back pressure here, so let's get our adapter that we've built. We're going to thread that into the exhaust. Like I stated before, I've got Dad up in the truck. I'm going to have him crank this thing up once we get it all hooked up. Bam, latch is on, straight to our braided cable. Now we should see virtually no exhaust restriction. This is a 20-pound gauge here. So we should see not hardly any back pressure. All right, Pops, go ahead and fire it up. Oh, there's a pretty good bit there. All right, it's still kind of hovering, but you've seen that right off the bat. All right, rev it up. Oh, all right, let off. I actually can hear that converter over there rattling. One more time. Oh, yeah. All right. Wow. Okay, you can shut it off. Okay, well, that verifies that. Now we know at this point that we have got an extreme exhaust restriction between the engine and the catalytic converter. The exhaust flow has to freely flow through here and out the tailpipe. If you can't do that, everything backs up on the engine and you'll have all kinds of just multitude of different things. Misfires, running rough, lack of power, yes, extreme spark knock in some cases, just a bunch of different stuff. So I think that pretty well concludes that presentation. Now basically I can just put this oxygen sensor back up in here, tighten it back down, and call the customer and let them know the bad news on this one. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to have a pretty expensive little catalytic converter set. So, but that's one way to check what we call checking exhaust back pressure on one with really low power. If you guys ever need to know, it'd be something to look into. Appreciate it.